Hey,
Recording. There's something now.
say something. Hey, nice to see you, Spoon. What's up, y'all? I'm MAS1A, and you're about to hear my chat with Spoon.
Yes, so we're there. Spoonface, Major One. 2 in the morning,
Well,
watch out, but then I'm a robe,
you gotta keep it natural, natural.
You know that. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for being around and for sharing the love.
My pleasure.
What's been going on? Like, you looked after me in Singapore. It was really nice to see you out there when I was there last year. What's been happening since I saw you?
A lot. It's been very, very crazy. First of all, I woke up one morning and saw a video of my song Warrior's Tongue being sampled for the new Fast and Furious movie. The trailer was debuted in Times Square, so they actually shut down all the speakers, all the screens, and debuted this trailer. And I was waking up to my song's hook being played on in the middle of Times Square, so it's pretty amazing times.
That is a big deal. We all know how tough it is to land syncs and get stuff in trailers, and for such a high profile movie as well. That's a good look for 2017 indeed.
Gotta give a shout to Bass Nectar for that one. Amazing producer, amazing person. He just casually told me, like, hey, by the way, our song got in a movie. I'm like, okay, great. I thought it was like an indie film. No mention of what movie it was. So yeah, it was a nice Christmas present.
I love the way that you've been able to make it sustainable for so long. Like, what 3 tips would you have for an emerging artist right now?
So I guess the first tip is take the time to actually sit yourself down and ask yourself what made you fall in love with music in the first place? What made you fall in love with creating in the first place? So it's important to sit down and think about your message. So this is something that was difficult for me because I love hip hop, I love dancehall, I love reggae, I love everything. I love punk rock. So sometimes it's hard for people to understand because there's not really a genre or a category that I could express myself and say, yes, I am a pop singer. Always maintain the imagination of an 8-year-old child. So if it's writing music, if it's creating a branding for a business, if it's approaching business, I still have these eyes of an 8-year-old kid. You know, when you're a kid and you're bored and your parents left you and you had to amuse yourself, suddenly the chair could turn into like a flying horse, or you could invent your own language. This type of magic that we have in ourselves, we tend to forget when we get too caught up growing up. Imagination never dies, and it helps you from becoming too jaded with the business or the industry end of things. And the last thing I would say is definitely learn the industry. Even the stuff that you find really boring, what does it mean for sync and licensing? What does it mean for publishing? What does it mean to be managed? And where are your royalties going? These things are important because it allows you to be independent.
I've been watching. I've been keeping up with you on social media, and you've been traveling a lot around Asia. What's been going on with that?
Well, for a while, I had moved from North. I grew up in Canada, and also lived in a few places, LA, Jamaica, and I moved back to Singapore about 3.5 years ago. And when I moved back to Singapore, it was definitely a culture shock for me, even though I was born from Singapore. And the one thing I really wanted to bring there was some island vibes, like I really missed reggae culture. I missed the bashment parties that I used to go to in New York and Toronto that had hip hop with reggae. The night would end with lovers rock. And I felt like that was something that you couldn't find very easily in Singapore. So I set about establishing the Singapore Dub Club together with my partner, DJ Rumshot. And we just aim to create this community of reggae lovers or just good vibes lovers in Singapore. And I've been working on the business end of things for the past 3 years, I would say.
Loving that. Dancehall has evolved a lot. Reggae is always evolving, and the different subgenres and all the rest of it. Where do you see it going for you in Singapore, in and around Asia, with regards to what you're adding?
I traveled around Southeast Asia because I wanted to know what the best venues are, who are the reliable bookers, what was the general vibe, what was the general attitude toward reggae. There's definitely this stereotype of reggae just being like a bunch of dreaded hippies sitting around singing Bob Marley covers. But like all things, music, art, culture, once you delve deeper, you start to discover the real subculture and the real characters and pioneers behind the movement. So that's what I wanted to discover.
And that's what I like about where you're taking things, sort of tapping into the elements of reggae and the elements of dancehall that excited me from way before all of the madness that we see now. People jumping off speaker
How
boxes.
you mean? Don't
Oh,
lie,
you
you
mean?
dagger. You love daggering. Don't lie, don't lie.
Like, it's balance, right? It's about balance,
Yeah.
and it's nice that you're touching on some of that old school stuff that made it have substance, and I'm looking forward to see how that grows.
I feel I'm from a place in Singapore where it is a very busy city life. You know, I think Forbes magazine announced that Singaporeans work the longest work hours in the entire world. So to me, there was no better vibe to bring there than a reggae vibe to say, okay, calm yourself. It's okay to take time for yourself and watch how music can change your mood, watch how music can change your perspective in life. Yeah, I just felt that it was something important to bring to the people. It wasn't just for entertainment value alone.
You're in Tokyo right now, right? What are you doing in Tokyo?
Japan people, mad, you know. I came to Hakuba, Japan for a New Year's Eve gig. And now I'm chilling with my homegirl, DJ Sarasa. Check her out. Amazing, amazing DJ. I want to say the best DJ in Japan. For the 3 years that I was kind of developing the Singapore Dub Club, now it has its legs. I've been able to meet a lot of amazing artists around Southeast Asia. And a lot of them are very hungry to see the rest of the world and bring their unique Southeast Asian style of reggae or their unique Southeast Asian style of hip hop to the rest of the world. So it's time for me to get my blood circulating again. I'm definitely a world traveler. Big opportunities are coming my way, and I definitely need some new material to show the world how I've grown from all the things that I've seen.
And what have been your major frustrations and how have you been able to get through them?
Oh gosh, where you start, you know. I would say when as a new artist, when I first began, definitely with you know the advent of social media and how easy it is for people to be keyboard warriors, putting your art out there and something that's very personal to you, and having people comment on it. If it's very negative, sometimes it's just you know something you say at the fly of your mouth and you're not really thinking about it, and some very negative things come. So being able to be an artist and take that negativity and not take it personally and to keep going, that was definitely something very difficult. I realized with experience that comments came about, what negative or positive, it just meant that you're rocking the boat and you're doing something good. So look at it as a positive no matter what. Other challenges as an artist, entrepreneur, getting so busy on the business end and forgetting to take the time to keep being creative and writing songs, consistently writing songs and consistently practicing your craft.
I really wanted to ask you, especially working in hip hop and dancehall, as a woman, how do you deal with a lot of that? Because there's some crazy energies out there
So
that you
many
have to
of
face,
them.
right?
Hey girl, daddy girl, hey, you look nice now. Come, come. Of course, there is the situations where a producer will be like, yeah, come over. I got hot beats for you, girl. And you get there and like the lights are dim. There's candles. And like, what's going on here? This is not about the beats, is it?
No,
I don't
I just
know.
want to
I
make it
mean,
clear that's not why I'm wearing this robe. Okay, it's like 2 in the morning.
that's okay. All day, robes all day. A female artist should be careful and be selective about the opportunities and really know what you're getting yourself into. I think the best thing is to always trust your gut instinct. If it doesn't feel like a situation where someone is being genuine and sincere about being interested to work with you and your music, then you're probably right.
Can you share with us what led you to working with your current manager and away from doing so much by yourself?
I think for me, it was actually a cultural reason. Every country and every industry has its kind of like coded language of how uh, things need to be presented. And even though I was born in Singapore, I never really understood how to present in Singapore, like what they understood. So it might chat like this and chat like a rude girl from yeah, them not really understand the thing, you know? So it's like, okay, in interviews, I must be articulate and speak in a way so that the people don't feel too alienated and I can get my message across. Definitely helping with rebranding, getting the YouTube together. I have so many amazing stories from drinking sherry with John Frusciante to writing with the RZA to hanging out at Bob Marley's studio and seeing his writing in pencil. And I've never had it documented. I just have it in my mind because that was just the journey I went through as an artist. So now having someone look out for me and saying like, girl, document every crazy journey that you go on. Yeah, it helps to have that second set of eyes and that second set of ears. You know, I discovered hip hop as an 8-year-old kid in Singapore, and picked up a bootleg Public Enemy tape and saw Flavor Flav and was like, wow, this guy looks like a cartoon character. I love it. And years later, I'm able to meet Chuck D and be in a studio and have a song with Pharrell and have a song with my hip hop heroes and meeting all of them, not thinking it was even possible. Singapore is like 45 minutes driving across. It's like this tiny little dot. And here I am going out to the world and really being blessed to meet people that have inspired my journey and not only call them my heroes, but to be able to call them my contemporaries and my collaborators. It's just unbelievable to me to this day. When I was a kid, I also listened to, my brother used to play a lot of Peter Tosh and Bob Marley and this type of thing, you know? So to go to Jamaica, to fall in love with the culture, to fall in love with the people, to fall in love with the positivity that I felt there, and to bring it back to Singapore. And when I first got back to Singapore, every single person told me like, don't be crazy, Meja. Like Singapore reggae can never work. It can never ever work. And I'm like, all right, you know, stubborn goat gonna be like, all right, here we go. We're gonna make this work. And 3 years later, I'm at the Singapore Dub Club. It's at capacity. We have General Levy playing the Dub Club. I'm drinking a red stripe in Singapore, just shaking my head, going, I can't believe it. So, I mean, I don't want to be cliche, but really, follow your dreams. And it's not just about dreaming. It's the imagination, then you dream, then you just got to be willing to put all that hard work and consistent hard work behind it to make your dream happen. But it's possible, like really, really and truly, anything is possible. I would say coming up for myself in a new record, I love where dancehall and hip hop and reggae are kind of fusing together and where the music is going. I think they call it future dancehall or bass hall. There's all kinds of names, but at the end of the day, it's just music. I love making anthems. I love making anthems that make people feel brave and confident. So that's the vibe of the new record, and that's where I'm going with it. After Tokyo, I'm headed to Canada, then to New York, then back to Jamaica, and then I'm back to Singapore. And hopefully, I'll have a record done by the time I'm back.
I'm looking forward to hearing these gems. Absolutely. Thank you. That's our time.
Beautiful. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. Peace, Spoon.